Before we dive in, a quick warning. The following content is meant for entertainment and may be uncomfortable for some viewers. Proceed with caution. What happens when a casual conversation on live TV takes an unexpected, explosive turn? When the lights shine too brightly, the audience is too close, and one question turns the atmosphere from friendly banter to an intense confrontation? That's exactly what unfolded on a seemingly ordinary Tuesday morning, when Hollywood's most iconic figure sat across from one of TV's most charismatic hosts. What was supposed to be another regular morning show turned into a media spectacle, watched live across the country. It only took 38 seconds. Those seconds stretched into eternity, as what was meant to be light-hearted promotion spiraled into one of the most awkward and uncomfortable moments in the history of morning television. Smiles froze, laughter vanished, and the tension in the air was palpable. And in that exact moment, Samuel L. Jackson, the celebrated actor known for his sharp wit and impeccable style, made a choice that stunned everyone. He didn't raise his voice, he didn't shout, but he made a statement that would echo through media channels for days to come. Let's rewind and take a look at how everything unfolded. It's not even dawn yet, but the Good Morning America studio is already alive. The buzzing of makeup lights creates an almost hypnotic hum, a familiar rhythm in the pre-show chaos. The scent of freshly brewed coffee lingers in the air, mingling with the faint smell of hairspray. This is the world of morning television, a place where everything must be polished, perfect, and controlled. Behind the scenes, crew members rush to finalize their preparations, making sure every detail is flawless before the cameras roll. The set gleams under the bright lights, and the audience trickles in, each person eager to witness the charm of Samuel L. Jackson. He steps in, dressed sharply, his demeanor calm but confident. This is nothing new for him. He's done this dance countless times before. Shake hands, crack a few jokes, plug the new movie, then leave. Simple, easy, the usual routine. Across from him sits Michael Strahan, former NFL player turned beloved TV host. Michael's ability to make anyone feel at ease is almost legendary, and he has a way of turning even the most mundane moments into entertainment gold. The air is light, the mood jovial. The show's crew is in sync, rehearsing every move. Then, with a smooth countdown, the show goes live. 2, 1. The cameras are rolling. The audience claps. The energy is palpable. But just moments into the segment, Strahan leans in, his voice as smooth as ever, but with a question that's about to change everything. "So, Sam," Michael says casually, his grin wide, "your new movie, man. It's packed with action, explosions, chase scenes, you doing stunts, running, jumping. How much longer do you think you can keep doing those crazy moves at your age?" For a split second, there's silence. The smile on Samuel's face starts to fade, and the mood in the room shifts dramatically. You can almost feel the energy drain from the set. Robin Roberts, sitting beside Strahan, shifts uncomfortably in her chair. George Stephanopoulos glances nervously at his notes. The once lively atmosphere has turned tense, almost suffocating. Samuel's eyes narrow, and the warmth that had radiated from him earlier begins to dissipate. The actor, known for his unflinching professionalism, is no longer the playful guest. Instead, he's a man taking stock of the situation. "My age?" Samuel repeats, his voice calm yet undeniably sharp. "I didn't realize there was a deadline on Passion." The words hang in the air, and laughter, forced and uncomfortable, follows. Robin, sensing the discomfort, jumps in quickly, trying to redirect the conversation with a softer tone. "Well, what Michael meant was," she starts, but it's too late. The damage is done. Michael tries to laugh it off, but there's an edge to his words now, a hint of something he didn't intend to let slip. No, I mean it, Sam. You've been in the game for what? 40 years? 50? At some point, don't you think it's time to start slowing down?" The room is now thick with discomfort. The audience, once lively and eager, grows quieter. George shifts in his chair. Robin's hand hovers near Michael's arm, but the words keep coming. The tension is mounting, and the familiar, friendly banter has now shifted into something far more uncomfortable. Samuel remains calm, but you can see the shift in him. The man who has weathered decades of interviews and media attention has reached his limit. His face is still, his jaw clenched, and the cameras zoom in on him as he sits back in his chair. His voice, when it finally breaks the silence, is icy. "I've been doing this for decades," he says, each word deliberate. "I've earned my place here." The calmness of his response contrasts sharply with the growing tension in the studio. Robin looks as though she wants to intervene, but the air is so thick now, it's almost impossible to cut through. But Michael doesn't stop. His voice, once light-hearted, now carries a more aggressive tone. "Look, Sam, I'm just saying what everyone's thinking. You can't be doing stunts like that forever. At some point, you gotta think about passing the torch, right? The words are out there, and they cannot be taken back." The vibe in the studio shifts again, this time towards something darker. George watches from the side, frozen, unsure if he should speak up. The audience is no longer laughing. Instead, they're holding their breath, unsure how to react. Samuel's gaze locks onto Michael's, his voice cold. "Maybe you should learn what respect is before you question someone's worth." The silence that follows is deafening. It's a moment of truth, one that will leave an indelible mark on everyone watching. And just like that, Samuel L. Jackson, in one smooth motion, unclips his microphone. The soft click of metal against fabric is louder than any shout. He places the mic gently on the table in front of him, his movements deliberate, every action carrying a weight that resonates deeper than words. "Real journalists don't ambush their guests," he says, his voice low and unyielding. "Real journalists don't use their platform to belittle people." And with that, he stands up. The entire studio holds its breath. Samuel walks toward the exit, his posture steady and unbothered. He doesn't rush, doesn't glance back. Every step is measured, each one a defiant statement of self-respect. The camera catches his silhouette as he exits. The applause from the back of the studio starts, slow, hesitant at first, but soon swelling into something more powerful. It's not just applause for a performance. It's respect. It's recognition. And for a brief moment, the audience, the crew, and even Michael Strahan are left to realize what just happened. As Samuel L. Jackson's footsteps fade down the hallway, the energy in the studio is impossible to ignore. What was once a polished, perfectly controlled set is now in complete disarray. The audience, who moments ago had been immersed in the usual routine of live TV, is left stunned. The laughter has stopped, replaced by whispers and nervous glances. The cameras continue to roll, but the atmosphere has completely shifted. Robin Roberts, trying to maintain her composure, glances at Michael Strahan, who is sitting stiffly beside her. His grin is gone, replaced by a look of stunned disbelief. For the first time, the audience can see that even he is rattled. The momentary lapse of professionalism, the uncomfortable silence, it's all becoming impossible to ignore. A producer's voice crackles through Robin's earpiece, her eyes flicking to the control booth. "Cut to commercial," they order, but no one seems to be moving fast enough to execute the command. The producers in the booth are frantically trying to manage the fallout, but they too are frozen in the moment. The studio crew is moving in slow motion, almost as though the room is holding its collective breath. Back on the set, George Stephanopoulos shifts uncomfortably, his usual calm demeanor fractured. He avoids looking directly at Michael, who has yet to say a word. The tension that once existed between the hosts and their guests has been replaced by a quiet but palpable discomfort among the hosts themselves. The camera focuses briefly on Robin's face, which is now a mix of shock, concern, and a lingering sense of guilt. It's clear that everyone on set understands the gravity of the moment. This is no longer about the show. It's about the larger, far more public consequence of what just transpired. The tension inside the studio soon spreads beyond the confines of the broadcast. Within minutes of the walk-off, social media erupts. The clip of Samuel unhooking his mic and walking off the set is everywhere. It's shared, retweeted, and replayed over and over again. On X, formerly Twitter, hashtags like Machirk Respect Samuel Jackson and Ashirk Walk with Sam quickly trend, capturing the attention of millions. Fans of the actor, media professionals, and ordinary viewers all flock to comment, dissecting the incident and taking sides. The responses are divided. Some defend Michael Strahan, claiming he was simply doing his job, asking tough questions to get to the heart of the matter. If celebrities can't handle honest questions, then maybe they shouldn't come on live TV, one tweet reads. Others, however, quickly rally behind Samuel L. Jackson, highlighting the clear line of disrespect that was crossed. That wasn't journalism, that was arrogance, one post reads. Samuel handled it with class. More people need to learn how to stand up for themselves like that. The discourse around the event is sharp, and even those with no stake in the situation are drawn into the debate. Memes spread like wildfire, cutting between the heated exchange and Samuel's composed departure. The world is transfixed, and the incident becomes an internet phenomenon, discussed in every corner of social media. As the clip circulates, it becomes less about the morning talk show and more about the larger conversation surrounding respect, boundaries, and professionalism in media. Back at ABC headquarters, things are far less calm. The immediate aftermath of the incident has sent executives into panic mode. A flurry of phone calls, meetings, and urgent emails flood the newsroom. Crisis response team to the conference room. One email blares. The producers, the executives, everyone is trying to figure out how to manage the situation. In the glass-walled conference room, the mood is tense. Executives watch the viral clip on loop, their faces drawn and anxious. The footage of Samuel L. Jackson walking off the set is already making waves, and no one quite knows how to handle it. We need to issue a statement, one executive suggests. But we can't throw Michael under the bus. He's a brand. He's a star, another voice speaks up, colder. The brand is already on fire. We need to address this, or it will only get worse. Meanwhile, as the PR team scrambles to draft an official response, they realize the gravity of the situation. This is no longer just about a talk show incident. It's about media ethics, the lines between tough questioning and disrespect, and the boundaries of personal dignity. Every second of the fallout is being analyzed, discussed, and dissected. In her dressing room, still in full makeup, Robin Roberts sits in silence. The studio is quiet now, the chaos of the live broadcast a thing of the past. The lights above her buzz faintly, almost mockingly. She stares into the mirror, replaying the events of the morning in her mind. What could she have done differently? Where did it all go wrong? I should have stepped in faster, she murmurs under her breath, her voice tight with guilt. She knows that, as co-host, she holds responsibility for how the conversation unfolded. She could have intervened earlier. She could have steered the discussion away from the uncomfortable topic of age and retirement. But she didn't. And now, the silence that follows is deafening. She's left to reckon with the weight of what happened. As a seasoned journalist, she's well aware of the power of a single moment on live television. But even she couldn't have predicted the intensity of the fallout. The moment the door to Michael Strahan's dressing room shuts behind him, the atmosphere within feels suffocating. The once bustling, lively set of Good Morning America now feels miles away. In the silence that envelops him, the sound of his footsteps pacing across the room echoes through the space, each step a reminder of the chaos he's just created. His mind is racing, the events of the morning replaying over and over again like an endless loop. The anger and frustration that had been bubbling just beneath the surface finally boil over as he mutters to himself, trying to make sense of the situation. I just asked a question, he says, his voice tight with frustration. The words come out slowly, almost as if he's trying to convince himself. I was just doing my job. But even as he speaks deep down, he knows it's more than that. He knows that the question he asked Samuel L. Jackson was more than just a harmless inquiry about his age and his ability to keep doing stunts. It was a question that crossed a line. A question that, in hindsight, feels disrespectful. It wasn't just about trying to get an answer. It was an attempt to make a point that never needed to be made. Michael knows, with growing clarity, that it wasn't about age or about the physical demands of stunts. It was about respect. He had attempted to casually dismiss a man who had built a legacy over decades, a man who had carved out his place in Hollywood with sheer talent and determination. And now, the aftermath is weighing heavily on him. He's not a novice to live television. But this situation feels different. The comfortable banter, the jokes, the easy charisma he's always relied on, none of that seems to matter now. This moment feels heavier, more consequential. The more he paces, the more the frustration mounts. His phone buzzes incessantly in his pocket. Notifications are coming in from every direction. Producers, colleagues, and even media outlets eager for a statement or an explanation. Each buzz feels like an assault, a reminder of how fast things can spiral out of control in the world of live TV. But Michael doesn't reach for the phone. Instead, he walks over to the window, looking out at the bustling city beyond. For a moment, he tries to clear his mind, to find a way to make sense of what just happened. The traffic below, the people moving on with their day. It all seems so far removed from the firestorm he's just created. I didn't mean to disrespect him, Michael whispers to himself, his voice tinged with frustration. He wants to believe that. He wants to hold on to the idea that his intentions were pure, that he was just trying to keep things light, trying to get a laugh. But the moment the words left his mouth, he saw something in Samuel L. Jackson's eyes, a flicker of coldness, of recognition. The actor's response had been measured, controlled, but Michael couldn't ignore the weight in that look. Samuel wasn't playing along. He wasn't going to let the disrespect slide. And for the first time, Michael feels that uncomfortable sense of vulnerability that comes when you realize you've crossed a line. Outside his dressing room, the sound of crew members moving about the studio is muted, almost as if everyone knows what just happened and is carefully avoiding acknowledging it. The usual hustle and bustle of the morning show crew is gone, replaced by quiet whispers and quick glances. Michael can feel it. He can feel the eyes on him, the subtle judgment from everyone around him. The producers, the crew, the staff, they've all seen it, heard it, and none of them want to be the one to approach him. No one knows what to say. There's a sense of tension in the air, thick and palpable. As Michael paces back and forth, the weight of his actions begins to settle in. He's been in this business for years. He's a former NFL star turned talk show host. He knows what it's like to be on live TV, to be in the spotlight. But this situation is different. Samuel L. Jackson isn't just any guest. He's a legend, a figure in Hollywood whose career spans decades. He's a man who's earned the respect of millions. A man who's been in the industry long enough to recognize when someone's trying to belittle him, even if it's done under the guise of a joke. Michael runs a hand through his hair, his mind racing. He knows he's in trouble. The show is going to have to address what happened. They'll have to cover the awkwardness, smooth things over for the audience. He'll have to apologize, but the damage is already done. No amount of smooth talk or charm can undo the moment when he made Samuel L. Jackson feel less than, when he made the audience feel uncomfortable. He sits down at the small table in the corner of the room, running his hands over his face in frustration. His phone buzzes again, but this time he doesn't ignore it. He picks it up, scanning the messages with a quick swipe. The media outlets are already circulating their own takes on the situation, each one more critical than the last. His colleagues, too, are sending messages, some sympathetic, others pointed, reminding him that he's crossed a line. The truth is, Michael isn't just dealing with the fallout from his words. He's also dealing with the realization that his own ego may have clouded his judgment. In that moment, he thought he was being clever, trying to get a laugh, trying to make a point about aging and legacy. But in reality, he'd just disrespected one of the most respected actors in Hollywood. He's not sure how to fix it. There's no easy way out of this one. Outside, the whispers grow louder, the eyes more pronounced. The crew can feel it, even if no one dares to speak up. Michael Strahan, once the golden boy of morning television, is now a man with a tarnished reputation. And the weight of that realization is settling in deeper with every passing second. Hours pass, and the ripple effect of Samuel L. Jackson's walk-off continues to spread. In the media world, the incident is the talk of the day. News outlets replay the footage on a loop, offering their analysis of the confrontation. Celebrity commentators weigh in, some calling it a masterclass in dignity, others questioning the nature of celebrity interviews and the fine line between honest journalism and disrespect. In the world of social media, the debate rages on. Some side with Samuel, praising his self-respect and poise. Others feel that Michael was simply doing his job, trying to get to the truth. But no matter where the opinions fall, the incident becomes a cultural touchstone, a moment that will be remembered long after the show's final credits have rolled. Meanwhile, inside the GMA building, the mood is heavy. The producers, the hosts, and the crew are all trying to figure out how to move forward. The show must go on, but the damage is done. For Michael Strahan, it's a professional setback. For Robin and George, it's a reminder of the unpredictable nature of live TV. And for Samuel L. Jackson, it's a moment that only cemented his place as a figure of both strength and grace under fire. As the story continues to unfold, one thing becomes crystal clear. Samuel L. Jackson's decision to walk away was more than just a walk-off. It was a statement, a moment of quiet power that transcended the typical drama of morning television. In a world filled with noise, his silence spoke louder than any words could. By the time the dust settles, the clip of his exit has become an iconic part of pop culture. It's used in classrooms as a case study on emotional intelligence. It's quoted in articles on professionalism and media ethics. And it's a reminder to everyone in the public eye that there is power in knowing when to stand up, speak your truth, and walk away. For Michael Strahan, the aftermath of this moment will linger long after the cameras have turned off. His career, once synonymous with charm and easy banter, now carries a stain of arrogance and disrespect. He's learned the hard way that on live television, crossing the line isn't just a mistake, it's a legacy. But for Samuel L. Jackson, his walk-off will forever stand as a testament to the power of dignity, self-respect, and knowing when to leave the stage. The moment may have lasted only a few seconds, but its impact will echo for years to come.